The mysterious visitor. It was a cold evening in the big human city. The streets were full of people rushing home, their coats tight against the wind. But in the middle of that busy road stood someone who did not belong. She was tall, beautiful, but clearly not human. Her skin was pale blue and smooth. Her long silver hair moved gently in the cold air. Her eyes, large and glowing softly, searched every face that passed her. She looked tired and desperate. Her name was Soraya, but no one knew that yet. "Please, I can work," she whispered to a passing man. He looked at her once, then quickly walked away. A woman pulling her child close crossed to the other side of the street. A group of teenagers laughed at her strange clothes, but said nothing. Soraya stood still, shaking slightly. She had traveled far from her home planet. She thought the humans would be kind. She thought they would give her a chance. But here she was invisible. No one cared about her sad face or her begging voice. Her thin clothes were no match for Earth's cold wind. She wrapped her arms around herself, trying to stay warm. Hours passed. More and more people walked by, ignoring her completely. As night fell, Soraya sat down on a bench, looking up at the bright city lights. She felt so alone. She had not eaten in days. She had no shelter. She had no money. A small boy came near, holding a piece of bread. He looked at her curiously. "Are you a robot?" he asked. Before Soraya could answer, his mother grabbed his arm and pulled him away quickly. "Don't talk to her," the mother warned. Soraya's heart hurt. She did not want to scare anyone. All she wanted was to survive. The cold became too strong. She felt weaker and weaker. A sharp pain spread in her stomach. Hunger, real hunger. But this hunger was different. It was not just for food, it was for energy, for life itself. Her body needed something more than human food. Her species required energy from living beings to live. Back on her planet, there were many ways to get that energy. But here on Earth, there was no one who would help her, no one who understood what she was. She looked around again. So many humans walking, laughing, talking, eating. So many lives around her, and yet she felt like a shadow, unseen and unwanted. Soraya knew that soon her hunger would become dangerous. Her control would break. She could hurt someone without meaning to. She had come to Earth hoping to avoid this, hoping to live peacefully. But now she was losing hope. Her glowing eyes filled with tears. "Why won't they help me?" she whispered to herself. Then a decision formed in her mind, a decision born from desperation. If they would not give her work, she would have to offer something else. She stood up slowly. Her body ached from sitting so long. Her hair fell over her face as she looked down at her hands. Trembling, she took a deep breath and said aloud, though no one was listening yet, "I will offer myself." The words sounded strange even to her own ears. She felt shame, but she also felt determination. Tomorrow, at the human marketplace, she would go where everyone could see her. She would not beg quietly anymore. She would stand in front of them all and say, "I will serve any human who takes me." She did not know if anyone would accept her offer. She did not know what would happen next, but she knew she could not wait any longer. That night, she slept on the cold bench under the streetlights, dreaming of her faraway home. She dreamed of green skies and warm winds, of family and friends she had lost. But when the morning sun rose, Soraya woke up with one thought. Today, everything would change. The off-Earth next morning. Soraya walked slowly to the marketplace. The streets were already busy. People sold fruit, clothes, tools, and humans shouted to catch attention. But Soraya was not here to buy or sell things. She was here to offer herself. Her pale blue skin and silver hair glowed softly under the sunlight. Everyone around her noticed her this time. The crowd grew quiet when she stepped into the center of the square. Soraya took a deep breath. Her voice shook, but she spoke loud enough for all to hear. "I will serve any human who accepts me. I can clean, I can cook, I can do anything." People stared. Some laughed nervously. Others whispered, "Who is she? Is this a trick? An alien working for us?" But no one moved forward. No one accepted her offer. Soraya's heart sank. Even after this desperate offer, they still looked at her with fear or curiosity, but not kindness. Then, from the edge of the crowd, A man stepped forward. He looked different from the others. His clothes were simple, his face kind but tired. His name was Jason. Jason had seen Soraya the night before, sitting alone on the bench. He had felt sorry for her but had not known what to do. Now, seeing her offer herself to anyone, his heart felt heavy. Without a word, Jason walked up to Soraya. "I don't have much," he said quietly, "but you can stay with me if you want. I live in a small house at the edge of town." Soraya looked at him, surprised. No one else had spoken kindly to her since she arrived on Earth. "Yes," she said softly, "I accept." The crowd watched in silence as Jason led Soraya away. Some people whispered, "Why did he take her? Is he crazy? She could be dangerous." But Jason didn't care. He believed in kindness, even when no one else did. As they reached his small home, Soraya looked around. The house was old but warm. A small garden grew outside. Birds sang in the trees nearby. Jason brought her water and food. She tried to eat but could not swallow much. Her hunger was different. She needed energy, life energy. Jason noticed that. She barely touched the bread and water. "Are you okay?" he asked gently. Soraya hesitated, then nodded. "Thank you for helping me," she said. That night, Jason gave her a blanket and let her sleep on the sofa. But as he watched her curl up under the blanket, he noticed something strange. Her skin glowed faintly in the dark. He also noticed a small wound on her arm from earlier, but now it was completely gone. He had seen the wound before in the marketplace, and now it had healed by itself. Jason sat quietly, watching from a distance. Who is she really? He wondered. Why did no one else help her? And why did she offer herself like this? The next day, strange things began to happen around Jason's house. The flowers in his garden grew faster overnight. A broken lamp in his kitchen started working again without repair. And Jason himself felt stronger than usual, even though he hadn't eaten much. Jason started to realize that Soraya was not just any visitor. She was something much more, and maybe her offer meant more than anyone understood. But he didn't know yet that other people were watching too. Dangerous. People who wanted Soraya for themselves. Dark secrets. Jason woke up early the next morning. The house felt different. It was warm and peaceful, but he sensed something strange in the air. Soraya was sitting quietly in the garden. The birds were flying around her, singing softly. Flowers that had been closed yesterday were now open and blooming. Jason stepped outside. "Good morning," he said. Soraya turned and smiled, but her smile looked sad. "Thank you for letting me stay," she whispered. Jason sat next to her. He couldn't stop thinking about how fast the flowers had grown overnight, and how his broken lamp worked again. "Soraya," he said carefully, "I have questions." She looked down at her hands, glowing softly in the sunlight. "I know," she replied. Jason asked the first question that had been on his mind. "Where did you come from?" Soraya sighed. "Far from here," she said. "My planet was once beautiful, but it is gone now." Jason's eyes widened. "Gone?" How? She hesitated. Then she whispered, "Destroyed. My people destroyed it themselves. Wars, greed, hunger for energy. And I made a mistake there." Jason leaned closer. "What mistake?" But Soraya didn't answer. Instead, she stood and walked into the house. Inside, Jason noticed something even stranger. His old dog, who had been sick for months, was now running around happily. The dog barked and jumped like a puppy. Jason couldn't believe it. He touched the dog's fur. It was healthy and full of energy. Soraya did this, he thought. That afternoon, as Jason worked outside, two men came to his gate. They wore black suits and dark glasses. "Good afternoon," one said. "We are from the Government Investigation Office. We heard an alien is staying here." Jason felt a chill. I don't know what you're talking about," he lied. The men looked serious. "Be careful. Aliens can be dangerous. If you see anything strange, report it immediately." Jason nodded quickly. The men left, but Jason could feel their eyes watching him from a distance. When he returned inside, Soraya was waiting for him. "You must know the truth," she said softly. Jason sat down, his heart beating fast. "Tell me." Soraya sat across from him, her glowing eyes looking straight into his. My species feeds on life energy, she confessed. That's why I was begging. For work, I was trying to avoid taking energy the wrong way. But I'm starving, Jason. My control is fading. Jason froze. His mind raced. Was she dangerous? Would she hurt him? The healthy flowers, the healed dog, his own sudden strength. It all made sense now. But before he could speak, Soraya added, I did not come here to harm humans. I came here to find a way to survive without taking life. Jason stared at her, torn between fear and sympathy. Why didn't you tell anyone this before? He asked. Soraya smiled sadly. Would anyone have listened? At that moment, Jason realized how lonely she was. She was not just a visitor. She was a fugitive from her own kind. She was running from her past. Outside, the two government men continued to watch his house. But what they didn't know was that Soraya's powers were getting weaker, and soon she might lose control. Growing fierce at night, Jason couldn't sleep. Soraya's words kept repeating in his mind. My control is fading. He sat quietly in his chair, watching Soraya as she lay curled up on the sofa. She looked peaceful, but he knew a storm was inside her. Jason stepped outside to get some air. The wind felt cold and sharp. He looked around the dark street and froze. A black car was parked across the road. The two government agents were sitting inside. Watching his house, Jason's heart raced. They're waiting for her to slip up, he thought. Inside, Soraya woke up. She could feel something too. Her hunger had grown worse. Her body was shaking now, and her glowing skin had lost some of its light. Jason noticed her weakness when he came back inside. Are you okay? He asked. Soraya looked at him with tired, glowing eyes. No, she whispered. I'm starving. My species needs energy, and I can't fight this much longer. Jason was afraid, but also felt sorry for her. He knew she was trying hard not to hurt anyone. Can I help? He asked softly. Soraya shook her head. You already have. Your kindness kept me going, but soon my hunger will take over. I can't stop it. Jason felt helpless. He wanted to trust her. He wanted to protect her. But a question burned in his mind. What happens if she loses control inside this house? As they sat in silence, there was a knock at the door. Jason opened it slowly. A neighbor stood there, looking worried. Jason, the man said, did you hear? A child from the next street has gone missing. Jason froze. A child missing. His heart sank. His mind raced with fear and doubt. He turned to look at Soraya, who stood quietly behind him, her face pale. Do you know anything about this? Jason asked carefully. Soraya's eyes filled with tears. No, she said, shaking her head. I promise, I didn't take anyone. Jason wanted to believe her, but in the back of his mind, fear was growing. Later that night, as Jason checked the locks on his doors, he found something strange. A small flower lying on the kitchen floor. A blue flower, glowing faintly. It wasn't from his garden. He picked it up and looked at Soraya. What is this? He asked. Soraya looked surprised and scared. That's from my home planet, she said quietly. How did it get here? Jason realized then that something bigger was happening. Someone or something else was here. Maybe others of Soraya's kind were already on Earth. Suddenly, everything felt more dangerous. Humanity's respawn summoning came quickly, but Jason did not sleep at all. He sat near the window, watching the black car still parked outside. The government agents hadn't left. They were waiting, and now the missing child news made them more dangerous. Inside, Soraya sat quietly, her glowing skin now dim, her body weak. She was close to breaking. Jason gave her water and tried to speak softly. Soraya, we must decide what to do. People are afraid. They will come for you. Soraya looked into his eyes, sadness and fear mixing in her glowing gaze. I didn't hurt anyone, she whispered. But they won't believe me, will they? Jason shook his head slowly. No. They fear what they don't understand. Suddenly, a loud knock shook the door. Bang, bang, banged. Jason froze. Open up. This is the government. A voice shouted from outside. Soraya stood quickly. She was trembling not from fear, but from hunger. Jason could see it. She was reaching her limit. Her beautiful, glowing skin was fading fast. "Jason," she said softly, "I trust you. I offered myself to humanity, but you were the only one who was kind. Only you." Jason's heart felt heavy. He realized now that Soraya didn't just need help, she needed protection. He made a quick decision. "Follow me," he said, grabbing her hand. He led her through a small door at the back of his house, down into the basement. The knocking became louder. The door shook on its hinges. "Open now, or we will break it down." In the basement, Soraya looked weak, almost falling to the floor. Jason held her up and whispered, "You can hide here. I won't let them take you." But Soraya shook her head. "Jason, I can't hide forever. My people will come. They will track me." Jason's eyes widened. "Your people, more of you are coming." Soraya nodded slowly. "Yes, they sense me now. The blue flower you found. It means they are near." Jason felt trapped. Outside, humans were ready to take her. But soon, aliens would come to dot at that moment. He realized this was no longer just about one alien girl. This was about humanity's future. Outside, the government agents prepared to break down the door. A small drone flew overhead, scanning the house. Jason whispered to Soraya, "Why did you really come here?" Soraya looked at him, her voice soft but full of emotion. "Because I was hoping that maybe humanity would be different, better than my people, kinder." Her words broke Jason's heart. The door finally crashed open. Heavy boots stomped into his home. But Jason was ready now. He stepped out of the basement and stood in front of the soldiers. "You ignored her when she begged for work," Jason said loudly. "You rejected her when she offered herself. But she's not dangerous. She trusted me and I trust her." The soldiers hesitated. The agents from the black car stepped forward. "Where is she? She must be captured." Jason's face was calm but firm. "You'll have to go through me." In the basement, Soraya could hear everything. Her eyes filled with tears again, but this time, for the first time on Earth, she felt hope. The twist Jason stood firmly at the door of the basement, blocking the soldiers from entering. His heart was racing, but his mind was clear. He would protect Soraya no matter what. Outside, more black cars arrived. More government agents stepped out. The entire street was now blocked. Neighbors peeked through curtains, watching in fear and curiosity. Inside the house, Soraya sat weakly on the basement floor. Her glowing skin was almost dark now, her strength nearly gone. But deep inside, something was changing. Suddenly, Jason felt something strange too. His body felt stronger than ever. His tired mind felt clear and sharp. He looked down at his hands. They looked healthier. He rushed back to Soraya. "Soraya, what's happening to me?" Soraya raised her head weakly. Her voice was faint, but calm. "When you showed me kindness, something happened. My energy, my life force, it started to bond with yours." Jason's eyes widened. "Bond with me?" She nodded. "It's rare. Only a few of my kind can do this. You shared kindness, and now part of my energy flows into you. That's why you feel stronger. That's why your dog healed. That's why your garden grew overnight." Jason felt shocked. Soraya's hunger for life energy was changing into something else, a connection. "But if I die," she whispered, "you will lose this bond." Jason knelt beside her. He realized now that Soraya was more than just an alien visitor. She was a bridge between two worlds. If humanity understood her power, it could change everything, cure sickness, improve life, heal the planet itself. But if they captured her, they would probably lock her away, experiment on her, maybe even kill her. Jason clenched his fists. He had to act fast. Outside, the government agents prepared to break into the basement. They were armed and ready. Jason whispered to Soraya, "Can you stand? We have to escape." Soraya tried but fell back, too weak. I can transfer my remaining energy into you, one last time," she said softly. Jason hesitated. "What will happen to you?" Soraya smiled sadly. "It may drain me completely, but it's the only way for you to escape." Jason felt torn. He didn't want to lose her, but he also knew that if he didn't act now, they would both be caught. At that moment, the basement door burst open. Soldiers rushed down the stairs, but before they could reach them, a bright light filled the room, Soraya touched Jason's chest gently. Her energy flowed into him like warm fire. His body glowed for a moment, stronger, faster, sharper than before. The soldiers froze. Blinded by the strange light, Jason grabbed Soraya's weak body and leapt up the stairs, moving faster than any normal human. He dodged the soldiers, pushing them aside with ease. Outside, he ran into the street, but as he reached the edge of the crowd, he stopped suddenly. In the sky above, a dark ship appeared, silent and huge. It hovered over the city like a shadow. Soraya opened her eyes weakly and whispered, "There. Here, my people have come." Jason looked up at the alien ship. He knew this was just the beginning. He held Soraya close and whispered, "I won't let them take you either." The ultimate choice. Jason stood in the middle of the street, holding Soraya in his arms. His heart was pounding. Above him, the huge alien ship hovered silently, blocking out the sun. People gathered all around, pointing and shouting. Soldiers aimed their weapons at both Jason and the sky. The government agents barked orders, but no one knew what to do. A deep voice echoed from the ship, speaking in a strange language. Soraya opened her eyes weakly and translated in a whisper, "They are calling me back. They have tracked me here." Jason's mind raced. If they take her, she will never return. If the humans take her, they will lock her away. Either way, she's lost. Suddenly, a small light beamed down from the ship, a thin, bright column, shining on Soraya and Jason. Soraya tried to stand. "They want me to step into the light," she whispered. "If I do, they will leave, but they will punish me for coming to Earth." Jason tightened his grip. "No," he said firmly. "You offered yourself to humanity. You came in peace, but we didn't help you. We ignored you." His voice rose louder. He turned to face the crowd. "You all saw her beg for help. You all saw her offer herself when she was desperate. You rejected her not because she was dangerous, but because she was different." People fell silent. Jason continued, "But I accepted her, and because of that, I now understand. She is a gift. Her energy healed my sick dog, my garden, even my own body. She trusted me when we all ignored her." The government agent stepped forward. "Jason, move aside. This is not your choice." Jason shook his head. "It is my choice. It's humanity's choice now." He gently set Soraya on her feet, even though she could barely stand. He whispered to her, "Do you trust me?" Soraya nodded softly, tears in her glowing eyes. Jason then did something no one expected. He stepped into the beam of light with Soraya. The crowd gasped. The soldiers raised their weapons, but before they could act, the light wrapped around Jason and Soraya completely. Inside the light, Soraya spoke quickly. "Jason, what are you doing?" Jason smiled gently. "I'm going with you. I made a choice. You offered yourself to humanity. Now I offer myself to you for a moment." Soraya's glow returned. A soft blue light spread from her body to Jason's, and both of them shone brightly together. Then, the light from the ship pulled them upward. In a flash, they disappeared into the ship above. The alien ship hovered silently for one last moment. Then it slowly rose higher into the sky and vanished without a sound. The humans below stood in silence, watching the empty sky. No one spoke. No one knew what would happen next, but deep down, they all understood something important. Humanity had been given a chance, and they let fear stop them. Only Jason had seen what Soraya truly was, a chance for peace, healing, and connection.